I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet today for the podcast and pay our respects to the elders, both past and present. I'd also like to extend that respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders who might be listening to the podcast today. Thank you. Wait. Everyone's recording. Lights, camera. Can you make sure that's focused because I did stick my head in. Well, welcome back to the No Sleep Club, episode 4 it is.
Episode 4.
I almost said 3 there. But episode 4, as always, I'm Hamish.
And I am Blake.
And we've got Tommy and Matt behind the cameras. I got to give them credit. Look at the new setup.
Look at this beautiful new setup we've got. And I was just saying before, I feel like Maddie and Tom do more interior decorating here than they do videography.
Yeah, yeah, dead set.
Media production. But look, it looks beautiful. I think you guys should consider a career change. Absolutely loving it.
Love the boombox.
The
boombox.
Very good.
Before we go any further, Blake.
Very important business to attend to.
Very important. Mm-hmm. This is our second call out to Hamish Blake.
Yes.
Obviously, Hamish and Blake want to interview Hamish Blake. So we're going to keep doing this, mate, until you decide to pull your finger out and get on this podcast with us.
Nice.
Beautiful. So, Blake.
Yeah. It's been a little while since we were here.
I know.
How are your holes?
I missed you a little bit. Oh, it was actually pretty good. What'd you get up to? Not a lot. It was raining the whole time. So, I didn't feel like I wasted my holidays by sitting on the couch the whole time.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID hit,
yes.
which sucked.
That was not so good
obviously,
this holidays.
Anyone who's listening, we are from Sydney. So, it wasn't too pretty there at the end of last year. I was very lucky, though, that my girlfriend managed to sneak out of Bayview.
Nice. Before lockdown hit?
Yeah, before.
All right. We've got some air bunnies here for before.
Before, but she was able to spend the holidays with us, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I've got a younger sister. They're very similar in age group. Not by much. It makes it sound like I'm dating one of my sister's friends. But it was pretty good because there were days where I'd stay up late and game. I had a big career in NBA 2K.
Okay.
That's a soft plug. Had a big career there, and B and Molly were able to go out and get their nails done, and I didn't have to babysit. Not that I ever have to babysit, but it is. How were your holidays?
Yeah. Well, COVID was a big thing for my holes. I was supposed to be going up to Coffs Harbour to see my extended family. That didn't end up happening because I was on the Northern Beaches. I think at the end of last episode, I was talking about how I was going to go to the Northern Beaches, and then that night. That was when the 17 cases
because we were meant to be doing the Christmas party.
Yeah.
It was remember we were meant to do the Christmas party, and then the night before at 11 o'clock we got a message from Saxon Will being like.
Yeah, that was a real shame. We love our Christmas party here at Year 13. This first year it hasn't gone ahead, and we're all very devastated. I know. That was actually one of the saddest work days I've had in a while.
Yeah, I was pretty cut by it. I was getting ready. I had my dancing shoes on. I was ready to go. But no,
Yeah, no, not to be. So I was stuck on the Northern Beaches over the holidays, which there's certainly worse places to be stuck. It was just a lot.
What do you mean? You got food, your belly full?
Yeah. I was staying with my parents,
so tough staying with your parents. Isn't
it's so hard.
It's tough.
No, it was a lot of beach and board games and drinking and
Anything new? Anything new in your life?
I have a little bit of an announcement.
Yes.
I was speaking at the end of last year about moving out by myself, and it happened.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Come on, Matt, Tom, give her a come on. Yeah, there we go.
So I'm now living in a 1-bedroom apartment, which is so weird and
Is that
new.
Redfern?
It's in Chippendale, Sydney.
Chippendale, yeah.
Pretty inner city. But it's been awesome so far. I've enjoyed spending a little bit of time by myself.
How good.
Yeah, it's taking ages to sort of deck it all out, but once I get there, it'll be good, I think. Yeah. How about you? Any updates? Anything you want to fill us in
the first thing is, so everyone who's listening is aware, we're growing. So we've had our office fit out.
Yes, we did.
So we've had, how many? 18 new desks or something we had downstairs. And then we've just got upstairs as well.
Yeah, we just had to overtake upstairs.
And we got a, fancy new water machine.
Oh, yes. I love the water machine.
Spits out hot water.
Yep.
Boiling hot water. Oh. Ambient water.
Ambient water is my favorite. It's like lo-fi water or something.
And then we got cold water and sparkling.
Water.
And I actually checked it before. We've already saved 453 bottles.
Wow.
So
look at us go, guys.
I know, very environmentally friendly.
It's great.
It's
and
great.
Getting a lot of good water. I'm all about the new water machine.
I mean, the cold water's a little bit slow, but beggars can't be
If we
choosers.
were gonna make any
Beggars
critique.
can't be choosers. Maybe can you boys note this down? We need a faster cold water machine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy. What else is new for me? My teeth, my Invisalign.
Oh yeah, you got Invisalign.
Yes.
See, Hamish is joining the club because I've already had Invisalign.
Yeah, I saw Blake's teeth when she first started, and compared to what they were after Invisalign, my God, did Blake sprout? It was definitely something I've always kind of thought about. So, firstly, anyone, if I end up having a lisp, it's because of my Invisalign.
If I end up having a lisp.
If I have a lisp,
If I have a little
because
lisp,
of my
guys.
Invisalign. But actually, tell you what's funny about it. The other day, I was in the car and I was singing with my sister,
Yeah.
and you know when you get like a piece of paper and you like on it,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
tickles your lips.
Yeah.
That is exactly what happens on the inside of my lips.
Oh.
So I can't sing.
Oh,
Don't
that's
you
such a
dare put that
shame.
watermelon sugar at the start of this episode, please. Yeah, because that was tingling. That hurt. I didn't like it.
Oh, what a shame. We can't hear your beautiful voice echoing through the offices anymore.
Devastating. But no, look, something that I'd always, as I said, always wanted to get done. Braces.
Not something you.
Nah, like I'm a reckless man, and I tend to get into little wrestling matches with my mates. I'd split my lip open playing footy. I'd split my lip open.
Did you really think about that beforehand?
I actually did. And but I mean, it was something that when I was a kid, as I've probably said in a couple episodes now, one of 5 kids. Braces aren't cheap.
No,
so
certainly not.
yeah, we've all got pretty busted teeth. I think Molly's got the best teeth out of all of us, which is very lucky. But yeah, look, something I've always done. And it's quite funny because, you know, everyone that I've told, I'm getting Invisalign, you know, they're like, why? Like, and for the people who aren't watching the video, I've got a bit of a fang tooth that sticks out and another tooth that kind of tucks behind it. And in photos, you can't really see it. Some photos you can. It depends on the angle. It's why if you look at any photo, I'm always on my left and I'm tilting my head.
You have a good side.
Don't you worry.
I don't know what my good side is, guys. I actually think the podcast is filmed
Probably
on
back.
my wrong side. So can we maybe just switch up the cams or something?
You don't have
but
a
yeah,
good
that's
side.
so funny that like you always like people don't see it quite as bad as you do, and I think that's always something that
and that was exactly what the dentist said to me when I went in there for the initial consultation. He was like, look, mate, at the end of the day, you're not doing this because your mum told you, you're not doing this because your girlfriend told you, you're not doing this because your friends told you. There's obviously something that you notice and you want to fix. He probably said that because he makes a lot of coin out of it. So I mean, I don't blame him. But look, it is something that I have definitely been insecure about since I was a young kid. And actually, when I was like a real young pup, must have been 6 or 7, I actually had 8 teeth removed from my mouth.
God.
Yeah. So it was like
baby teeth?
Baby teeth. And so I don't know how or why, but like my teeth used to, like you could like scrape my tooth. It would almost like peel like a banana. Yeah, it was really, really weird condition. I don't actually know what it was or why it happened, but I had 8 teeth removed. And I had those cool like sewer ones at the back.
Nice.
People thought I was a freak. But yeah, when I got those removed, you know, they didn't necessarily leave enough spacing and all that sort of jazz. So then my teeth just grew and crooked. But yeah, definitely something that I've been insecure about, which is you know what's going to lead us to today's
topic. Yeah, we were having a chat about what we could talk about today, and we sort of got to talking about our teeth. I went through the same thing. Yeah, we were talking about our teeth, guys. A real hot topic combo.
Very, very hot.
No, because I went through the exact same thing. Like I was really insecure about my teeth when I was younger. My front 2 teeth used to cross over. And it got to a point where when I would meet people, I would like put my hand in front of my face when I was talking to them, or I would find an excuse to maybe like hold a drink in front of my face.
Or like you also see a lot of people when they laugh, they tend to like cover their mouth.
Cover their mouth.
Or when they smile, they don't actually use any teeth. Like,
yeah.
So like it's obviously exactly like that, Tom. You guys can't see it. You guys can't see it, but he went, which is exactly the case. Tom, I just realized you got braces, and here I was talking shit braces.
Tommy's talking. He's got braces.
Yeah, what are you on about? You shut up.
So we were sort of talking about that and how like nobody really sees it as badly as you see it, but it's something that you find really sort of hard to deal with and something you feel really insecure about. So we thought we'd flesh that out a little bit more today and talk about insecurity.
Yeah, it might get a little deep for some people.
Yeah, it might get a little bit deep, but
I don't know, maybe. We'll
thought
see.
first step of the year, why not
head first into
right
it?
in.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I guess everyone has insecurities.
Yeah,
you look at you even think about all the celebrities, you know, and how they want to
Absolutely.
look perfect all the time. Like that's an insecurity. That's why so many people get work done. Like people get their lips filled or their cheeks done. That's mainly all girls. I just realized I'm just picking on girls here.
Go to the gym all the
guys
time.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, there's also blokes who like have their haircuts like every 2 weeks because, you know, that's something that they're insecure about if they're not looking good. And I guess it is a bit of a it's your identity, it's your image, and you always want people to see, I guess, the best version of yourself. So when there's things that you can't necessarily change at the, you know, flick of a switch, that, you know, it can get hard for people. Definitely.
And it extends beyond that as well. It's you can be more than just insecure about your body. Like I know a lot of people, myself included, have a lot of social insecurity. Meeting a lot of new people, hanging out with a big group can be pretty hard.
But to that point, what did you tell us? Was it yesterday when you were telling us when that guy came up to you guys and he said you're not losing any friends, you're only making them.
On New
Thanks,
Year's.
Blake. Bloody hell! Now you've made me give the punchline to
Took
it.
me a while. On New Year's Eve, somebody came up to us. We were actually supposed to be in our little groups of 5 for COVID, but he came right up to us and started chatting to us, and he was talking to us about why he feels confident going up to groups and sort of just starting up a conversation. He was like, my dad gave me a really good piece of advice, which was that if you're ever going up to talk to someone new, you can only make friends, not lose them. Because you obviously don't know these people.
Yeah, you're not friends with them, so they might tell you to get nicked, but
onto the next group.
Onto the next group.
You're literally not losing anything. So you can only make friends, not lose them if you go up to strangers. So, I mean, beware of going up to strangers, I suppose.
Might not look good.
But yeah. It's a good little piece of advice.
And I guess to your point, you know, I've never necessarily been the most academic when it came to school. And I guess that's definitely, now that you said it, like just then when you were like, oh, you know, it's just not necessarily about your body image. I was like, shit, you're right. You know, like I guess a lot of people have doubt, you know, and they're like, oh, like they're insecure that they're going to say the wrong thing, sound like an idiot, or for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think performance anxiety and performance insecurity is like a really big one, particularly in school or at work or, you know, in university. It's something that if you're sort of constantly worried about how you're going to perform or if you're going to fail or be rejected, like that's often something that people are concerned about too.
And exactly right. Like I remember B was my girlfriend, by the way. When we were at when she was at uni, and she'd be sitting there like constantly stressing, being like, "Oh my god, I'm stressing." And then our results come back. You know, I'm there being a supportive boyfriend, like, "It's all good. You're gonna kill it, Bob. It's all good." Rah, rah, rah. And then she gets her results back. She's getting like high distinctions. And I'm like, what are you stressing about? Like, come on.
That's just the thing as well. Like insecurities aren't something that are necessarily founded in any reality. Like we're often insecure about the things that most people find to be our best qualities, or, you know, like people are jealous of.
Or they make it, that's what makes you know, like that's what a lot of people said like about my teeth. They're like, oh, why? Like that's you. Like that's that's part of like that. Yeah, that's your part of your identity. And I was like, yeah, no, I still don't like it. Yeah, I'll spend the money, thank you. Exactly. Even though my wallet now is very slim,
a little expensive, but that's just it. It was important to you, so you went out and changed that thing.
And I guess there's no other like part or time in my life, I guess, where I'll be able to just drop $6,000 on getting my teeth fixed just like that. But well, you know, it'll be worth it in the long run. Exactly. My teeth have been hurting. No, but yeah, definitely. I mean, yes. I remember being at school, and you know, I think I touched on this in one of our first eps, and being like, oh, you know, I was a bit I don't know if I said insecure, but you know, being at a private school where everyone's very well off, money is not an issue, and then there I was, coming from a family of 5, with all of us going to private education, and you know, like having the school uniforms that were a little bit big, or the bag that looked like it had been in my family since World War II. It was seriously old. But you know, like those sort of insecurities, I remember like I'd never have people over at my house because I was like, oh, like you guys have a double-story house and it is pristine, whereas mine's a little fallen apart slightly. And And, I was always super insecure about that. And something that I think helped me start to cope with not only my teeth or, when I say words wrong or, even things that like were getting me down. And it's funny, I was actually driving in today thinking about what we could talk about. And obviously like anxiety and insecurities, often lead to other things such as like mental health issues or depression. And I was sitting there and I was like, it's weird, like not that I never believed in depression, like, but it was more like I'd never experienced it.
Yeah.
And I think like last year it was a real testing year for myself. And like, not that I ever fell into that category, I guess, but I was like, holy shit, like it is so easy. Like once you're in that mind frame, especially if you are getting caught up, it's such a dangerous spiral. And something that I actually kind of found helped a lot. And I know it's so cliche, but it's actually being so transparent and like talking about it, like just not hiding it. Like you got bad teeth. Who cares? Smile because like you're happy. Like,
and maybe tell a couple people like, oh, like, I'm sorry if I'm like hiding my smile. I'm actually insecure about my teeth. And that could actually spark a conversation with that person. They might be like, oh yeah, like I'm actually quite insecure about that too.
100%. I think, and then you just start to become comfortable talking about it. And then before you know,
it loses its power.
It's nothing, like it's nothing. And you seriously become super comfortable with, not only your body image, but, what other insecurities you might have.
It's funny you say like you didn't know or didn't know about depression until you sort of.
Like, like I heard it, but I always like, and like if I'm really honest, I always kind of had this perception of it that people, like I believed it, but I also felt that people sometimes, how can I say this? Be given an inch and take a mile. Like something small happens and then it's like they kind of jump on that depression train.
Think that's just
like,
that's how negative thinking patterns start.
And that's exactly what like kind of really, it was a light bulb moment for myself where I was like, oh shit, like this black dog's real, like it is. I can see how easy it is to get caught up in that sort of stuff, especially, it's simple like you don't want to go out, you just want to stay home. And so then all of a sudden, like your friends stop inviting you, and then you go like, "Oh, fuck, I'm not getting invited to anything," and then you start getting caught up in that, and then it's like,
and those negative thoughts start spiraling, and it's all you can.
And then you finally hang out with them, and then you're caught up thinking that they don't like you, and then you're sitting there being like, "Oh my god, no one likes me," like, and it's so easy to get caught up in that.
I definitely had my own sort of experience, and I think I spoke about it a little bit earlier when we were talking about university when I dropped out. I really had no idea what I was doing with my life or where I was going. And that really set off like that sort of negative spiraling for me. And it got to a point where I actually had to seek help because it was getting too much for me. It was all getting on top of me. And I really felt like I was teetering on that sort of edge, that precipice of depression and anxiety. So I went and spoke to someone because I just thought that was what I should do. That was the next step.
and it's I mean, like the last, I'd say probably 10 years, especially the last 5 years, like mental health has definitely become much more of, it's probably wrong saying to call it, but a buzzword. Like it's definitely become more accepted.
The stigma is starting to be reduced.
And I think a lot of guys especially, it's considered, like, oh, you're if you go fucking to a therapist or whatever. But realistically, like, it is actually so valuable to someone. So look, if anyone, who is here and struggling, please reach out to Kids Hotline. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and Lifeline,
Lifeline, Beyond Blue, like all of them. There are so many organizations out there that do want to help.
And if you're not comfortable talking to someone on the phone, they've got chat systems, they've got emails.
Where you can stay anonymous. It is a really good system. And look, I really do encourage people to do that, no matter like how big or small you might think it is.
Exactly.
As long as you can get on top of it. And as we said before, just talking, like you being comfortable talking about it then helps you become comfortable with the issue just in general. Exactly. So it's like, why not reach out to someone? Like the services are there, they're free. Yeah.
Exactly.
And like I think it's a big stigma change. There has been a big stigma change.
There's still a ways to go, but definitely we're getting better at encouraging people to go and seek professional help if that's where they think they need it.
100%.
Or even just being more open with your friends about your mental health and like asking each other, how are you feeling? Are you doing okay? Like, it's certainly something, particularly in male relationships, I think that's been quite hard to sort of break through the barrier, and there's definitely still some issues there.
It's yeah, like so like when obviously I was talking about last year, like I guess for the listeners, last year was a tough year for me. Had this grand plan to go traveling to South America. I was a bit stuck in the mud in terms of like I was with Bianca at the time, and I was a bit like, well, shit, like if I want to be with her for the rest of my life, because I'm a big believer, you're in it for marriage or you're in it to break up. Like like they're the two options there. So for me, I was like, oh well, I'd prefer to end things on a good note, go do the things that I want to do, and then hopefully in the future, I know hope was a bad thing. In the future, at least we ended things on a good note, so that if we try and rekindle things, there's no bad blood there. And that was a tough year for me because I was working hard. Obviously broke up with Bianca, and it was one of those like don't want to but do want to sort of situation. Yeah, and then wanting to go traveling, saving for that. And then, of course, COVID hit and just threw all of those plans in the drain, which it's really... And then my car, oh my God.
Hamish's car is a never-ending story.
It's a bit of a joke in here. But, and I was really lucky because I did have mates reach out to me. To be honest, it was a couple of mates. They both live in Melbourne. Sort of my mates that I grew up with during school didn't really... reach out, but I guess at the same time, like because I was so focused on that work, I wasn't really hanging out with them too much. So like I can understand why they didn't, but like I can see there's a big shift in it. But at the same time, I also do feel like how do I say this? There is a bit of a fine line between like talking with someone and relying on someone or being dependent on someone.
Yeah,
and
I think it's a good way to sort of think about it is remember that they also are a person and they have their own issues and problems that they're potentially working through as well. So if you are going to take some of their time, not take their time, but lean on them for support, maybe also ask them
100%.
Are you going okay too?
How are you
going?
Because otherwise it does get tough. And then, you don't want to put someone, like I've been in the position where I've had people just like messaging me heaps and like all they're doing is complaining and stuff like that. And it's not that I don't want to help them. It's just a bit draining, and you don't want to put a friendship under that sort of stress. Like you want to be there supportive of one another. But
yeah, it's a give and take. It's just
it's a give and take.
At that point, that person maybe also needs to say like, okay, but how are you going as well? And I know maybe you've had a tough year, and like I think we've all had a pretty tough year last year with coronavirus. I think anxiety and insecurities are very high at the moment.
Through the roof.
So I think it's just a matter of give and take, and just make sure you're all looking out for each other because we have each other to lean on.
And on that, something that my mate, because he, his parents split up and stuff, and he went to a therapist from like quite a young age. And it was quite interesting when I was talking to him kind of about how I was feeling or whatnot. He would never give me a solution. Like he'd never give me a solution, but he'd guide me there. Yeah. He'd be going like, oh, so like, why are you feeling like that? And then I'd dig a little bit deeper and he's like, well, what can you do to change that? You know? And then it's like, oh, I could do this or this. And then like, he would never be like, I think you should do this. He'd be like, you need to just,
That's the thing. I think a lot of people, when their friends come to them for support, they feel like they need to find the solutions or like give them something. But honestly, mainly what they're looking for is just someone to say, that sucks. Like, I'm sorry that you're going through that.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm here for you. But you don't have to provide like solutions to every problem. It's just just an ear.
And I think that was probably where, so one of my really close mates when we were growing up, like we had a massive falling out. And I think now that you've actually said that, it was a bit of a light bulb moment in my head just now. Is like I was trying to give him solutions, so when he didn't follow that solution,
it frustrated you.
I was even more pissed off, and then I think that's what there's a lot more to the story, but like at the end of the day, I think that was like a real driving force to why I told him like, nah, like I've had enough. There was a lot more other, so people don't think I'm just a prick who's just turning away my mates during their hard times. It's definitely not the case. But I think that's a really, really big, really good point. Is like don't offer them or don't tell them solutions. Like help them guide them there, and seriously say to them like say to them like, okay, like Blake, like, you know, why are you feeling like that? How are you feeling like that? What can you do? And then you go, okay, sweet. Hey, well, I reckon you should go have a think about, you know, what you really want, what's most of value. And why don't I give you a call on Friday?
Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
You
It's
know,
just
like just so then you're just checking in instead of having to message them every minute or like them being like, Blake's messaging me again. Like, you know, like
you can offer the support and be like, okay, like let's schedule something in, let's talk again. And then go from there.
And then go from there. And, you know, a couple of days after that, or maybe a week after that, check in. Oh, how are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, get a gauge of how they're feeling. Tee up some fun activities.
Yeah,
you know,
I actually did want to mention activities is a really good way to sort of get a conversation going as well. Some people find it really confronting if you sort of just sit down in a room with them and say like, hey, how are you going? Are you going
this
okay?
Is an
like
intervention.
I'm worried about you. Yeah. Maybe like planning an activity, even if it's something simple like a walk or like going to get some food or something.
Yeah.
And often like while you're doing something, it can be an easier sort of way to start a conversation. And you can sort of like get a bit distracted and it's fine and come back to what you're talking about. And yeah, it just provides a bit more of a comfortable setting, I think, for people to have a deep and meaningful chat.
And it not feel like it's a burden, which I think a lot of people have that issue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to go for a little drinks
have a
break.
Little drinks break.
I'm goddamn thirsty.
Yes, and we've got a little fun segment coming up.
Yeah, I'm keen for this one. All right. See you soon.
Oh, hi. My name is Tom. You're probably wondering why you're hearing me or seeing me right now. And let me tell you why. No, be quiet. Well, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Year13, because nobody wanted to work with us. But that's okay. Because we want to let you guys know about our free post-school plan. So what's a post-school plan? That's a great question. A post-school plan may help you discover where you want to go in the future and more about yourself. You can compare a bunch of different jobs and roles from a whole bunch of different industries. So figure out what you want to do with your life by completing your own personalized post-school plan. Back to you, Hamish and Blake.
Oh my God, that was a good drink.
So good.
Jesus. The water is hands down one of the best drinks.
It's the new water machine.
No,
providing the goods.
You tell me one other drink apart from Solo that is that thirst quenching.
No, definitely water is my number one go-to.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to live long without it. Is it 3 days?
Yeah, I think something like that.
Beautiful. Well, we've got something fun for you guys.
Yeah, something we've always done here at Year 13 for the past few years now.
It has been. I was actually going through them before. It was 2018.
Wow, so we've been doing it for a little while. We collect anonymous submissions from you guys. So you send us through your secrets, things that you want to get off your chest, and we post them on our Instagram anonymously.
We know who you are. No, we don't. We don't. It's all a joke. We don't. But without further ado.
So we've got a few here today. Hamish is pulling up a motorcycle helmet that we've put them in.
Something I prepared earlier. Blakos.
Oh, yeah. And
you take the pick first.
So we're going to pull them out, have a read, and then see if we can provide any useful advice on them, because often we are not
useful at all.
No, but we'll see how we go. All right. The first one here I've got. Oh, this one's a bit sad. I was bullied by this girl and she has no clue how much it affected me and she doesn't even care. I wish she knew how much it hurt.
That's a tough one.
Bullies?
Yeah, but I think that is super appropriate today's conversation about insecurities because a majority of bullies are very insecure.
Insecure people, yes.
Very, very insecure. Whether that's body image, whether that's about their life at home. You know, a lot of the time it's like literally a matter of like trying to break down them being why they're being a bully, like why they
exactly right. I think something my dad always used to say to me if ever I was complaining about someone's behavior, he would say, but why are they like that, or why do they do this? And it makes you think about, okay, well, maybe they're not just being a jerk, maybe there's something going on behind the scenes that I don't know about, or maybe there's stuff that I don't understand. And it's not to say that that makes the action okay. Like it doesn't validate the bullying by any means, but it's just a way to get you thinking, okay, well, maybe there's something wrong and maybe I need to check on them, or maybe I need to start a conversation with them and just be like, hey, why do you do this?
Or
And
you say, who hurt you?
that's a real power move. I feel
that
like.
is a power move. So use that one,
Yeah.
but make sure they're not too much bigger than you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, because I think back when I was at school, I probably would be classified as a bit of a bully, but it was, I think I said this in one of the early apps as well, is like, I wasn't the bully where like you go and like target people and like you're constantly doing it and it's all on social media and you're being an absolute prick.
Yeah.
I mean, I was being an absolute prick at times, but like a lot of the time it was people that I did have like relationships with in class, but they just weren't necessarily in our social circle. So it was kind of like, oh, like it was okay to take the piss out of each other. But,
Okay.
but no, well, I mean, like, I'm actually friends with majority of them now. I'm better
That's
friends
good.
with the majority of them now than like I am with some of my friends I was growing up. But yeah, I think for the majority of bullies, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and which is why they're so hungry for that power, and you know, almost like to take the attention off them and their insecurities, which is why they pick on other people.
Yeah. So I know it hurts you, but maybe you should ask yourself what hurt them.
And don't worry, if they're a bully, you will never see them again after school. And I can almost guarantee that when you do see them after school, they'll either be really nice to you or they'll actually apologize. Like, because that's something that as you grow up, you start to realize that, maybe I was a bit of a let's go to the next one.
Next one. I'll hold this for you.
All right. Oh, it's a bit of a long one. I like this one. Well, I don't like it, but I used to like her a while back, but she showed no interest when I was chubby, and now I lost the weight. Now that I've lost the weight, she's playing games with me. When I try to move on her, she gets jealous. Move on. Wow, this person did not put any full stop. When I try to move on, she gets jealous and starts complimenting me, and I keep falling. I can't control it. And nice girls I'm talking to think it's my fault, and I still think about her.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault, mate. It's not your fault, and don't you stress about her. I've got one of my friends who was very similar at school, a bit chubby, and now he is an absolute rig. And if I'm really honest, like, this is my own personal feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of wish I was chubby. No, because like while you're growing up and then you finally get given the opportunity like to go to the gym, you have a drive. You're like, I want to lose weight. I want to look good. And then once you start losing the weight, you see yourself, you know, progress. You see your body image change, and all of a sudden you're hungry to be a rip. I've always been skinny. So putting on weight
Hamish is just acting out his own insecurity here. He just wants to be this big ripped dude.
Well, yeah, I want to be on, I want to have abs and a nice chest, nice shoulders.
But yeah, I don't know about this girl. It seems like she's only interested when other people are interested, which isn't really a good way to start a relationship.
Mate, if I were you, I'm assuming this is a guy.
Could be a girl.
Could be a girl.
We don't know.
But if it is a guy or a girl, I was actually reading a book the other day. I'm not going to say the title of it because then people
also, you were reading a book?
I know, how rare.
Whoa, guys.
I know. It's so rare.
Hamish is
but I'm loving
fulfilling his New Year's resolution.
Yeah, it's a big book.
Ooh.
But yeah, see, I told you guys at the end of last year, I've got goals, and that's why they're good to write them down at Josh. So, and one of the books, it just goes through history, and it's called the 48 Laws of Power, and it just talks about how throughout history, like these principles of power kind of replayed themselves over and over again. It just like gives examples of it, and it talks about one of the things is never let people know your true intentions, right? And then there was a story about this guy, and he. What is it again? he no, that's who it was. He met this girl who kind of was she was like a Casanova. Is that the right word for a girl?
I thought a Casanova was a male thing, but
well, she was like very good with wooing blokes. Anyway, and this guy approached her because he liked this girl, and this other girl had no interest in him whatsoever. And so what he started doing was, he approached her and was like, "Hey, look, I just want to be friends with you." Rah rah rah. Showed interest in her sort of stuff. but never progressed it. Never let her know his true intentions was to actually woo
Playing
her.
the long game is what you're
to
telling
woo her.
us.
So then he started, inviting her places, but then he'd bring some, other girls along, and she started to get jealous. And then eventually he tried to make a move, but it was too early. And then that's when she found out his true intentions. So she dropped him and he never got her. So my advice for you with this one is if you want to try and get her back, but I'm also a big believer you should never play mind games. You should only worry about yourself.
I was going to say, this all sounds like games to me, Hamish.
But move on. Start hanging out with other girls. Do it in front of her. And just play the long game. Play the long game. You'll get her in a couple years.
This is the kind of quality advice you get on this podcast, guys. We got the good stuff. All right. I've got, everyone says that your last year of high school is the best year of your life. It's turning out to be my worst. That is the biggest load of crap that the last year of high school is the best year of your life. I'm sorry. It is not the best year of your life. The best years of your life are yet to come. You have a good year. It's a good year for most.
Yeah, but I tell you why people say that is because they're at the top of the food chain in school. That's why
true.
it's the best year.
Yeah.
There's no one above them. There's no one to bully them. There's people on their year, but I really enjoyed year 12.
Yeah.
It was stressful, but I'd probably say your best years are in your 20s.
Your best years are yet to come, let me tell you. So don't stress if the last year of school is not working out for you.
Even that first year out of school is pretty fun because like you're in that nice little like in between of like, I don't need to take stuff seriously, but at the same time, like I can if I want to. I can go
get a job, earn a little bit of money.
I can drink during the middle of the week. I mean, that sounds really bad, especially to career advisors and teachers. That was a joke.
If you're 18, it's fine.
Yeah, 18. You did say, not a teen.
Yes.
Okay,
18.
good. But yeah, I mean, there's so much more ahead. I wouldn't stress.
Yeah, I wouldn't stress too much. There's a lot to come. The good years are certainly ahead of you.
Woohoo! All right, here we go. Tommy, you want to read one out? Nah. You still got that lisp? All right. I'm dying to travel the world and see everything there is to see, but it's just not possible. I know I need to further my education to get a good paying job if I even want to think of going on holiday. Ugh.
I feel like this person has things a little backwards. Like you don't have to further your education before you go traveling, like those things.
Or you don't necessarily have to further your education. When I assume this person, when they're saying further education, is getting a degree, but you don't even need to necessarily do that to get a good paying job.
No, that's also true. Neither Hamish or I have degrees, and we're doing okay for ourselves now. For now. But yeah, I think like, particularly when you're just out of school, you've got the opportunity to maybe even delay your education for a little bit and just work and get a bunch of cash. It doesn't have to be a high-paying job. You might have to work a little bit harder, but you can do a hospital job, get a bit of money together.
But even then, like when you're at uni, you spend a year of your degree on holidays.
That's true.
Like you spend 3 months at the end of the year on holidays, and that's not to say you can't go traveling then. Or, I think a lot of people forget that, especially here in Australia, we have got one of the best countries in the world. Like
beautiful country.
Oh, you can follow the coastline for pretty much years. But it's like, why not start there?
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't have to be a super expensive trip or...
God, go camping up, for us, I go up to Crescent Head, just go camping up there or go down south or like just traveling. Like, yeah, I get it. Like you want to go over to Europe and, South America and all those sort of places. I definitely feel that. But you don't need to rush anything. There's plenty of time. And B, if you get a full-time job, you usually get leave for 4 weeks.
4 weeks leave.
Build that up. Build that up. I still got a couple hours under my belt. I think I've got like 170 hours or something like that. Ridiculous. What? I haven't taken leave in 3 years, 2 years.
Oh my God. Jealous.
Yeah.
I went into the red for a little while when I took 2 months to go to Europe a couple of years back. And I'm like still in the red from that.
Yeah, no, I've still got a couple of hours up my sleeve. So
well
I'm hoping to use that to go camping and travel Australia this year.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all looks like it's on the table.
Yes, hopefully.
All right.
I'm going in, guys. All right. I'm absolutely terrified for what's to come after high school, as fun and exciting as it may be.
Say that again for me.
I'm
before you throw it away.
I'm absolutely terrified for what's to come after high school, as fun and exciting as it may be.
Just go with the flow, man. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
It is scary finishing high school, particularly if you're not really sure what you want to do when you leave, or you haven't really got a set plan figured out. Although you could do a post-school plan.
Oi, that's a plug. That's
Yeah,
a plug.
A little bit of a plug.
I'm sure you heard Tommy and Matt's little ad in there. Yeah, yeah. Very talented boys. I hope you use the rap one for the middle of this one. But I can just, if I'm really honest, like even if you don't have a plan, and that might be scary, like you go and you start experiencing things, you start to realize things that you actually really like. You know, you're not worried about you know, what your mates are going to think if you start to, you know, enjoy something, you know, something that is traditionally not something that your group would ever be interested. Like, God, that's the fun of it. Like, that's the fun of finishing school. Like, the world is literally your oyster, you know. And Year13 is a knife that wrench it over.
That's our little tagline. Yeah, I fully agree. I think you'll fall into things that you never really even thought about. I actually when I first dropped out of uni, I fell into a gig doing movie reviews, and that was like so much fun. I just got to go to movies and write up little blog posts about it, and like that's something I always thought I would love to do, but like never thought it would be possible. And I literally just found like someone hiring an entry level role to do that.
Yeah, and then
on the internet.
Then you saw someone doing an entry level role for Year13. And you took that. You know, like that's what I mean. It is bloody exciting. And it's not something to be scared of at all. Like, God, as you start to earn money and you realize you can start to buy, you know, gadgets for yourself or buy a motorbike like I did, which I was in debt for a while. But it's all a part of the fun. Like, do it while you're young. I guess this might be a little bit off what they were saying, but like there's up until you start to get serious in life. Like, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. Okay, I was going to say 25. You're going to start getting serious. But
you're asking me this every episode, I feel like.
Picking up on it. But, you know, like there's no better opportunity to actually go and do those things than when you just finish school, because like life does get a little bit tougher. Hectic. You start to work full time. You don't have the time. Like, you start to go on the weekends, and then the weekends go twice as fast once you're working full time. So yes, enjoy it. Get out there, do as much as you can. Find something that you love, find something that you as a hobby, and really knuckle down on it. Yeah. Is it my go?
Yes, your go.
Alrighty. This one's for you. What the hell am I supposed to say when a mate wants me to send them my assessment?
Oh, God. So wait, I'm assuming they don't want to send it to them because like they might get in trouble if they
don't make assumptions. Don't assume. You make an ass out of you and me.
I have not heard that before.
Have you never heard that?
No,
don't assume. You make an ass out of you
by
and me. You and E. Anyway.
Words to live by, truly.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, if you're worried about plagiarism, then I can understand.
Yeah, I'd understand too. And they're kind of cracking down on that a lot.
Hard. I remember when I was at school, what the old trick we used to do is you take a screenshot of the assignment.
Oh, because the words don't
get scanned, so you put it in to turn it in. But obviously, like, you'd need to put text behind it so it'd hit the character limit. So you'd write random letters and change the font color to white. And so you'd put it there, and then they'd say 0% plagiarism, baby. But
yeah, I think I mean, in this situation, maybe you can be honest. Like, you could just say like, "Oh, look, I worked really hard on it, and like, I really don't want I don't want to get in trouble for like copying, or I don't know."
This is never me at school. I always left them to the last minute. But whenever I was ahead on my assessments, which was a very rare, and someone did actually ask for that, I'd just kind of guide them in the right direction.
That's a better way to do it.
Guide them. Like, oh, cool, I wrote about this, and I use these as my reference text or whatever it is. So then they still do it, but they're just getting that helping hand.
Yeah, much better way to do it. Just, give them a little snapshot of kind of what you did, and then you don't have to send them your entire assessment. I like that.
Yeah.
Well
yeah.
done.
Thanks, Blake.
That was good advice. See, we
Yeah.
can do some good things.
Sometimes. Your go.
My go. All right. I have never been in a high school relationship, and I don't think I ever will be.
They're not all that they're cracked up to be. I promise you that.
I wasn't either. I never had a high school relationship. I did not care for any of the dudes in my grade.
Yeah.
that's
You
fine.
didn't care for them, righto, Blake. Yeah. Righto. You can say that now. You got Invisalign done. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking.
Oh,
Please.
got me deep.
Please.
No,
Look, high
fine.
school relationships. Like there are the rare few that do work out.
They're rare.
But yeah, majority, like, especially those people who do have those high school relationships that work out. It's not smooth sailing. They say the old 7-year mark, the old 7-year test. Itch, that's the one. So apparently it's the 4-year? Yeah, it's the 4-year and then the 7-year. And then if you last enough after that, it's hopefully gonna last. And funny, because with my high school girlfriend, I think I've said on other episodes, I wasn't, now that I think about it, hindsight, it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
But I remember when we were reaching our so it had been our 3-year anniversary, and Geordie, one of my brothers, and his now wife, Jenna, they were around like, oh, congrats, rah. And Jenna goes, oh, next year's the big 4 years, like this will make or break till the 7th. And I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna last, like naive 18-year-olds, however old we were. Oh yeah, whatever. Like, oh, of course we're gonna love. We love each other. Blah blah blah. We broke up a month before our 4-year anniversary. But look, high school relationships, I mean, like they're fun while you're in them, like at school and whatnot, having someone that you can hook up with, go over to their house and, do all that jazz with. But like realistically, like I wouldn't stress whether you've got one or not.
I never had a high school relationship, guys. I do not feel like I missed out now. In like at the time, yeah, I had the exact same feelings. Like I was really concerned about that, but like I ended up meeting someone on my gap year, was with them for 3 years, so like it works out in the end. You'll find someone, and no matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter, because when you're actually in it, it'll be amazing, and it'll have been fine to have waited. It'll be worth it to wait. Hopefully, if you meet someone good, could be someone. But who did that one?
You did.
I did.
Wait, yeah, you did. My go.
Last one.
There's 2.
Oh, there's 2.
Let's get this one. I think this is the one. Oh no, this isn't the one I was thinking. I feel so much pressure to know what I want to do with my life and get straight A's, but also just and have the high school experience. I can't seem to find the balance.
I feel like Hamish and I talked about this a bit, because
maybe where the balance, because I had one end of the spectrum, you had the complete other.
Yeah. So I was definitely took school way too seriously, studied too hard, maybe didn't have enough fun in high school, whereas Hamish, on the other hand,
had more fun than probably should have. I
think you can strike a balance, but like, again, I don't really regret putting in, I kind of regret putting in as much effort as I did, but you have a lot of fun after high school as well. Like there are still a lot of years to come where you can and have a good time.
Look, this person's trying to get straight A's.
Mm.
You don't need straight A's to pass. Come on, you can drop to a B. That's
P's
all right.
make degrees and all
That's
that.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, I think I spoke in one of the other episodes. I said that a lot this ep. That was one of the other eps. But I spoke about, when I hit HSC and actually doing the exam, and like how much I knuckled down and I studied, and I really
did all right.
I did all right at the end of it. Look, there is a fine balance, and I think you spend your week working at school, and then you enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your Friday nights. That's what I've decided. That's what I've learned in my 25 years of
it's good life advice. Doing something
Friday
on Friday
nights, game changer.
Yeah,
game
makes
changer.
your weekend feel a lot longer.
You still have Saturday.
Yeah.
Then you can have a quiet Saturday night, or you can go hang out with friends if you want. And then Sunday, you still got Sunday.
Yeah. Makes your weekend feel
I never understood why people put events on Saturdays. Then I come into work feeling dusty.
All right, one more. This is ATAR is pointless, and I'll never understand why schools encourage getting one so much. We have done a full episode on ATARs.
We
So
have.
if you want to go back to Ep 2, I believe it was.
That's good memory from you. I could not recall what
Guys,
that
this
was.
is why I did well in the HSC. This old trap is like
It's
an
because you're
elephant.
rote learning
An
the
elephant
episodes.
never forgets.
Oh
all
yeah,
that.
righto. ATARs. Yeah, like we've touched on it.
Mm.
I think I said that, you know, as long as you put your effort in and you are, you know, proud of your effort. Sorry, Tom, I think you're going to get some feedback here. I keep like spitting on the mic.
It's the Invisalign.
It is Invisalign, I swear. But you know, you put your 100% in. You really give it your all. It really doesn't matter what mark you get. It actually doesn't matter as long as you know. And like we can't. I know that in here we're a bit like, oh fuck the ATAR. But like realistically, like there's a lot of people in here aren't necessarily high achievers.
Yeah.
And look at the quality of work that
Yeah.
we're all able to, you know,
Produce.
punch out. I got punch and push in the same one. Push out. But yeah, like God, man, I wouldn't stress on the ATAR. Like, give it a good crack because we have to. But
at the end of the day, there's so many other ways to get to where you want to be. As Hamish said, like we've got a massive mixture of like ATARs in this office, from like super high achievers to mystery marks, and like it doesn't make a difference at this level. Like,
no, and I'll tell you why it
between
doesn't
us.
make a difference, because we are actually passionate about what we do.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
when you are really passionate about something, like you will learn, you will make the effort to understand and better yourself at that job.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I wouldn't stress.
Yeah.
You know, we all go through it. We all have to sit the ATAR.
Yeah.
And I can't rag on UAC. Sorry. Can you cut that, Tom? But is that all of them?
That's all of them.
Woo-hoo!
We're done.
Episode
Yoo-hoo!
4.
Wrapped.
Nice and wrapped. This is a little off schedule, but Hamish Blake, seriously, mate,
Get on our podcast.
get on the podcast.
Get
I know you
here.
live over here in Crow's Nest. We'll get you an Uber over here. Speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
cheers, guys.